Welcome back to another episode of the Steebee Weebee Show. We have a very special guest tonight. Welcome for the first time ever on the podcast, Deathsquad's very own Brian Redban.
That was awesome, man.
Thank you. Oh, here. I got here. Put out your hand. I got put out. Yeah, sorry. There you go. Sorry. Yeah, we're living in weird times right now.
I'm the cleanest I've ever been, though.
You are. You are. Give me an example. What have you been doing?
I've washed my hands probably 10 times today.
You have?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to do a little bit more, too.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's just like I was just at the gas station, and when he gave me my change, I'm like, oh, what? Now I have to wash my hands now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just in Covina, Walnut area. We went to Target out there. And like I was telling you outside, I was like, I want to get some soup. I want to get some bread. Went into the bread aisle. Every loaf of bread gone. Yeah. I'm like, well, what about soup? Went in the soup aisle. They bought everything. I couldn't even find a little crappy broken thing of chicken noodle.
Yeah, there was no eggs when I went last night. No milk. Yeah. There was no meat. Like, no spaghetti noodles. Like, I wanted to get some ramen.
Good luck.
No ramen. No.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Oh, so what? I just did a vlog before you came. What is your fridge looking like? What do you got?
Well, I was pretty lucky because right before it went crazy, we had done one of those big shopping hauls where I'm like, why did I spend so much money? You know,
you
type
go to
thing.
Costco or like, what's the deal?
No, I just live next to a grocery store, and like maybe once a month I'll get one of those like where it's like 12 bags. You know, where I just fill up.
Yeah.
But
you got water.
Yeah, I got water. I get water delivered to my house.
That's smart. Okay.
So I was lucky on that.
What about eggs?
I have 3 eggs left.
Yeah.
My problem is my girlfriend cooks every day for me, and she's Korean, so she.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're basically family.
Yeah, that's exactly.
There you go.
But
she got kimchi on deck.
Oh, we got kimchi on deck.
You got the bottles of it.
We got the homemade kimchi, and we got
the
store bought kimchi.
She can make a kimchi chicken.
Yeah.
Like the stew. Did
she
make that? For you?
She's made kimchi rice too.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, she makes all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very lucky with that. But
yeah.
But no, so we're really stocked on pretty much everything. The only thing, like, in toilet paper, I have a bidet, so I don't really have to worry too much about that.
That thing's like gold. You can't find that.
Yeah.
You got your toilet paper? You found it?
Yeah, well, I have a little bit because we have a bidet, so I don't really use it much.
Oh, you got a bidet?
Yeah.
The thing that squirts in your butthole?
Yeah. And nowadays, they're so cheap, you can get one for like $30 on Amazon.
How does it work?
It just attaches to your toilet, and you take like the line that goes into your toilet, you unscrew that, and then screw it into that, and then that screws into that. It's like it takes like 3 minutes.
How strong is the water pressure?
It's pretty strong. It's Is
it warm or cold?
You can get one that has heat. Mine has heat.
Yeah.
And
you can get warm.
Yeah. So
warm
it heats
spray
it up
in your butthole.
Yeah. So and there's 2 different levels too. There's one that just kind of sprays and cleans, or there's one that's like a laser that just shoots right up in your asshole.
I like that. It cleans your butt.
Yeah, and you just kind of sit there for a little extra long because it feels
so
great.
Smart.
Yeah.
Does it feel good and satisfying?
Oh, it feels satisfying.
Yeah.
And the one I have.
A picture of it? Like I thought you were going to show me a picture of it.
I also have the heated seats. And it has all the good stuff.
It's like a 5-star hotel where you live. Yeah.
I went to Japan once, and
I've never been there. What was it like there? They got some stuff like that.
Well,
out there?
all their toilets have it.
They got
like
it?
I didn't even see one toilet that didn't have it.
Wow.
And I fell in love with that. I was like, I'm going
to
get this when I get back.
Because guess what? I went to Ralph's again. and because I use baby wipes.
Yeah, me too.
Can't
find them anywhere.
They're sold out.
But luckily, I do the Amazon where they ship you something like every month, and I do baby wipes. I create a baby wipes.
So you've been doing that?
Yeah. So I luckily had just gotten a new refill right before it all went crazy.
So what do you look at? What's your stock looking like? How much you got? How many baby wipes you got?
I got about 6 packs left. And
Good.
about
With Pampers or what do you got? Huggies? What do you
got? No, it's the Charnel, the one with the C.
Okay.
The blue ones.
Oh, the blue ones.
Yeah, Cottonelle. That's what it is.
And then what kind of scent? You got the cucumber?
No. Is there scented ones?
Oh yeah, I got the cucumber.
You got the cucumber?
I got the cucumber. Yeah, I love it.
No, I don't got the cucumber.
Yeah.
I need to try that out.
You know what? Since we're in dire times right now, I was thinking about maybe taking paper towels and wetting them.
Yeah, you just don't flush it. Just don't flush them.
When I take a shit.
Yeah.
Because my baby wipes is running low.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, maybe I could just. I mean, I'm trying to be in.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to have a poop bag. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't flush those paper towels.
Oh yeah, they clog up the pipes.
Right. So you'd have to have like a little poop bag.
Roto-Rooter has to come here and snake it out.
Yeah.
Damn. So what are your thoughts on? I mean, what are your thoughts on like what coronavirus and what's happening?
Well, at first I didn't care at all, and I still don't care.
Kind
like
of
if I get it
for a while, yeah.
Like I feel like, oh no, I got it. Like from
yeah.
what I've been reading, it seems like our age group and stuff like that. I think you're the same age as me.
Yeah. You born in the 70s?
74. Yeah.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Well,
August 4th.
You're 20. Yeah, you got a couple days on me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're the same age.
You're a Leo?
Yep.
Okay, I'm on the Virgo side, but same month.
Oh wow.
On the tail end.
So you're
on the tail end.
Tail end. Okay.
Yeah. 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I'm not too worried about getting it. But
that's so crazy. That kind of boggled my mind. I didn't know we were the exact same age.
Yeah, I didn't know.
That's crazy.
I knew we were close.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah, we're alive.
Yeah.
So you graduated in 92 or 93?
93.
Me
I was
too.
supposed to graduate in 92, but
Me
I
too.
held back.
Oh, me too.
In third grade.
I got held back. Like kindergarten, first, second, something.
My parents got divorced, and they were like,
yeah,
you know
me
what?
Too,
They're switching. You're switching school districts, and your parents got divorced. We don't even know anyone that's ever got divorced before back then.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna hold you back to be safe.
So we grew up around Intellivision, ColecoVision,
and Pong,
all of that.
Yeah,
Pong,
all that.
Yeah, now it's like Oculus.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Oh my God. So I'm sorry, I lost track because I have the fear energy. Like I tried to be cool about it. I was self quarantining myself. I didn't leave once yesterday, but today I'm like, you know what? I gotta at least see if they have baby wipes. And I don't know if because I'm Asian, but like. Good luck coughing or sneezing. Because they look at you like you're about to blow the place up. Like if you blow your nose, they're like,
yeah.
They're paranoid, dude.
Yeah. And it's weird because even though I have an Asian girlfriend, we were at the grocery store the other day, and behind us, you heard this woman coughing like crazy. We turned around. It was an old, she looked like a Chinese lady. And all of us, even my Asian girlfriend, was like, ah.
Yeah. It's like a zombie movie.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Like
it
28. You like those
28
movies?
Days later.
28 days later.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just saw Contagion. Have you seen Contagion?
No, I haven't seen that. Is it good?
Yeah, it's scary, man. It's scary. Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary.
I kind of like this staying inside though, because I'm like you. I wake up at like probably
I'm
like
a hermit,
3 or 4 a day.
Oh, you're like me in that sense.
100%, dude. 100%.
So what time do you sleep?
Me and my girl probably both fall asleep around 6 or 7 a.m. every night, and then probably
you're like
wake.
Me.
Yeah.
You're like exactly like me.
Yeah.
How did you know that about me?
I think I heard it on a podcast or something like that before.
I get a lot of crap over that.
Yeah, I do too.
People trying to reset my.
When you're in our life, though, you don't have to follow the same rules as everybody.
You know, like I kind of blame my brother because growing up, like before he did comedy in Poway, he would, like back then it was Blockbuster Video. But do you remember Hollywood Shuffle and these movies?
Oh yeah.
Robert Townsend. He would be like, hey man, we like stay up with me, let's watch this. And then remember back then HBO was even bigger, like So he'd be like, oh, you have to stay. So he'd like make me stay up with him.
Same.
And through that, I'm like, oh, I guess I'm this guy now.
Yeah, my whole life, even when I was in like middle school,
You
high
stayed up.
school.
You stayed up.
I would stay up and watch Johnny Carson, David Letterman. I would
Yeah.
go to bed at like 3 or 4.
Do you remember In Living Color?
In Living Color? Heck yeah. Fly Girls.
Yeah, Fly Girls. Yeah. I worked at the Tempe Improv in the '90s.
Oh, you did? Wow.
And I got fired there too.
Did you work when Adam Egget worked there? Or?
No, I was the manager. You don't mean Adam from the Comedy Store?
Yeah.
No, the main guy, the guy that fired me. His name was Neil. Neil.
It wasn't the owner that was the
No, he
AA
was the
guy.
manager. No, this guy Neil was a manager, and he happened to be banging one of the waitresses, and I got into it with her about supernatural. They wanted no green onions, and I just told her, "Can you put the order in correctly?" And she threw a hissy fit, and then next thing you know, they'd tell me to clear out my locker.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that was probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Place was
I don't know why I brought that up. Why did I bring up the Tempe Improv? My mind's just all over the place.
You've been through a lot of jobs, though.
Yeah. So I worked at P.F. Chang's on Mill Avenue there. When Santino was here, I didn't know this. My brother never told me his background. He's actually a Sun Devil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then Brody, rest in peace, Brody. But I didn't know that I spent many years on that campus.
Right.
And so I've had a lot of crappy jobs there. I even got an on-campus job at the Hayden Library. I was lugging around a book cart in the basement. That was actually good for people like us because we didn't have to deal with anybody. I'm not good with, I'm not good in the workplace, especially food.
I remember Bobby would always get you a job. I remember a long time ago, Bobby had that show before he met his girl where it was just him in like a white background.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called, but he was talking with but
he got
I
me a
love
job.
that show.
Yeah, that was fun. That was when Maker Studios was around.
Yeah. But I remember he used to get you jobs. He got you a job.
He got Sushi Dan's.
That's right, Sushi Dan.
That was a horrible job.
And that's where Joey Diaz is. That's Joey Diaz's place. He always talks about that place.
Did he work there?
I don't think so.
That's a different thing working there. I would be hit with the lunch rush and going back to the Korean mentality. The head sushi guy was from Korea, not from his whole the way he communicated to me was a little different. Like he's like, "Yashikya, you go that table," the way he talked to me was like kind of condescending.
Yeah.
And so I go, "Dude, this is America, bro. You can't talk to me like that," And then I was like, we almost got into it a couple times, and I got to a point where like I smoked cigarettes back then too, and I couldn't even like have my smoke breaks out front. She like the not only that, the manager, the lady was Korean, old school, like from Seoul, and she'd go, "Yeah, you go tambe, you have to." There's so many rules. I'm like, dude, this is already a shitty situation.
Right.
So I got to a point where I'm like, fuck this. I'm just gonna drink all this miso soup. That was my thing. Is like working at food place. I would just put miso soup in the paper cup and drink it like soda.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So I worked at IHOP
jeez.
IHOP graveyard shift in Tempe.
Ugh.
Off Apache Boulevard.
That must have been horrible.
Did you work some jobs too that you didn't like in the past?
I mean, all my jobs.
Where are you originally from?
Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, you're from Ohio.
Yeah, but I used to work at a lot of movie theaters growing up, which was great. I loved working at movie theaters. That was fun and easy. But then when I started waiting tables a lot, I went through those jobs really fast. I hated bosses. I like people telling me what to do.
Me too. I hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have problems with that, nowadays.
That's why I have to thank you too, because man, you're one of the OGs. You and Joe Rogan. I mean, didn't you started all what we're doing now? When did you start doing this thing?
Well, me and Rogan started his podcast probably like, I don't know. It's been like 11 years, something like that. It's been a while. So
I remember you guys were one of the first dudes to even do this type of thing.
Yeah, definitely in the comedy world.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't that many comedians doing it. I think Mark Maron maybe was doing it.
Yeah.
Or Adam Carolla.
It's weird because going back to my point is like all the shitty jobs I've worked in the past. At least this is like no one can tell me nothing.
And it's exactly right. And that's perfect.
I can talk about whatever I want to talk about.
Yep.
I could do
wake
puppet
up whenever
shit.
you want to wake up.
Yeah. I just have to edit, but I can edit at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
As long as I get it done,
Absolutely.
I edit right there.
Yep.
I have Adobe Premiere. I do it all. But I have to thank you guys because I still watch. I'm a fan of all of that. I made a fool out of myself meeting him a few times.
It's
because,
easy to do. though.
my brother just reminded me when I first. I don't drink anymore, but when I heavily, was drinking, I don't remember this night, but I was at the Comedy Store, and I don't know why I said this to him, but I demanded UFC tickets.
Oh fuck.
I said, he doesn't remember. Yeah, he probably doesn't remember because, a lot of people probably hit him up every time they see him. But I said, yo, what's up with those tickets, man? Like even my approach was like weird and not friendly. It was like, yo, hey, man, yo, can you hook it up, man? What's up with the ticket? So.
Did he know who you were?
No, I don't think he even knew who I was. I just assumed that maybe he knew I was Bobby's brother, but it was really unnecessary, uncalled for.
Why did you stop drinking? Because of the reasons like this?
Oh,
or?
no. There's a way more demoralizing. I mean, there was a point where I was picking up girls just off Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, yeah, when you start sleeping with homeless people.
Yeah,
and stuff.
like I would meet homeless people, like a gothic chick who was literally like communicating to the Church of Satan in her mind.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and it was a bad, I was making bad choices. Yeah.
That's what my girlfriend goes.
Does she know a lot about this?
Yeah, well, she was a huge fan of DVDA and all that. And,
yeah,
and
that's how I even got into this game.
Yeah. And I think that's the first thing he goes, oh yeah, he used to sleep with homeless people. And I'm like, what?
Whoa. So I got, I guess it's out there. I've been happily in a relationship. I mean, that's even a miracle that I've been in a committed relationship for going on 4 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, and she knows about all that.
That's good. Yeah, me too.
So
I'm very lucky.
Because I'm no saint.
Yeah.
I have some dirt.
Yeah.
I have some dirt back there.
I'm very lucky also with that because my girl was a fan of podcasts, fan of Rogan's, and so she heard like every podcast I've ever done, and then we met. So she already knew all of the shit I've talked about for like 5 years.
She had that.
Yeah, so she already knew
Just
it coming
logged.
in. Yeah. So she has no surprises anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Let's take it back. You probably have already talked about how did you meet Joe? How did you even start the Deathsquad? Like, how did that all begin?
I'll give you a quick version of it.
Yeah.
So when I was living in Ohio, as a side job, I was just a fan of comedy, Doug Stanhope, Joe Rogan, and I would. This was like when YouTube wasn't a thing, when internet first was getting hot.
What year?
I would probably say 18 years ago, maybe.
Damn.
And I was really good at taking video and compressing it really small so you could put it on your website because there was no YouTube.
Before like editing programs and all that.
Very, very beginning, like Premiere One. And, and
you had Premiere One.
Yeah, Flash One, Premiere One,
Whoa,
Shockwave, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would I'd go to shows like Doug stand-up shows and I'd film it and make videos for him and stuff. And then Rogan was like, hey, you should start coming to my shows and do it for me. Started doing that. He loved it. Then one day he just called me up and he's like, you want to work for me full time? So I moved out to LA.
Well, he offered you a job.
Yeah, he offered me a job.
To be the tech guy.
Yeah, to pretty much film him all the time. And, so then I moved out here, started filming and made the Joe versus Carlos Mencia video from a long time ago that Bobby hates me for. But, and then.
Oh, you made that?
Yeah, I made that.
Wait. You made that?
I made that, and Bobby hasn't liked me since, but
because that video has generated so much, millions of views.
Yeah.
And it basically, I don't know, I don't want to. It's weird because I just saw Carlos. He was on a podcast. I don't know what the name of it is, but there's a lot of history.
Right.
And God.
Yeah.
That's crazy how it's crazy how one video could have that impact.
Well, I guess I didn't know much about it when I made it, other than that I had heard from so many people.
Did you do the music?
I put that in there. Yeah, I pretty much went home, filmed it, went home, edited it till like 8 a.m. all night long, just put it together, mix stuff up, put
Joe
music in
told
that.
you to do that?
Yeah. And I mean, that's what my job was. But
how did you know that was the night it was going to go down?
I didn't know it was going to go down.
So it just organically just happened?
Yeah, anytime Joe was at the Comedy Store, I would have cameras, and I would film Joe. And
what kind of camera did you have? Like
back
one of them
then,
like one of these things?
Yeah, back then I had a few of those, and then I started having smaller cameras because they told me I wasn't allowed to bring bigger cameras in there anymore.
Yeah.
And then the night I filmed that, I happened to have like 2 cameras on me and an old cell phone that did video. It was like an old Motorola E815. I forget. It was like one of the first video.
Oh, I know I know what footage you used that for at the very end on the outside when you had Steve Renazizzi and then everyone was outside.
Yeah, because my batteries were all dead, and I was like,
I
oh,
knew
my cell phone has
this
this camera.
then you, oh, that's so brilliant because you use your resources because that added to the video.
Right, yeah.
Because it had the testimonials and everything.
And
so you're thinking on the fly.
Yeah, I was like, whatever I can get to do this. And then I went, edited it the whole night, uploaded it to YouTube, and then went to sleep, woke up, and it had like 2 million views already. I'm like, what? And I had like phone call, like people were trying to interview me on the news. I did Adam Carolla the next.
Wait, the news?
Yeah,
the media contacted.
The media contacted me. Adam Carolla had me on his show like the next day.
Oh my God.
And what's funny is I had a whole another video I was going to, like, I just edited that as quick as possible. And then I had like this other video I was going to edit because I had a whole bunch more footage I didn't use.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Carlos was like, I'm going to sue you, and put out his lawyers after me. So I never put the other second half out. So.
Oh, they sent you a letter.
Oh, yeah.
Cease and desist.
And then they started taking down all my videos from YouTube. Like his lawyers were pulling my videos.
Oh, they're
from
demonetizing
YouTube.
you?
Yeah.
How did they have
back then? They didn't have demonetizing, but they were saying that because I used footage of like when I was doing the proof, like here's Carlos on this video.
Oh my God.
They were like, that's copyright or whatever. And so then I was like, well, it's already out there. It's already been re-uploaded to MySpace and all the other places. So I'll just let it go. So I never touched it again.
God, I had no idea you're the one that did. You did that.
Yeah. I feel bad.
I mean, don't you? I mean, let's talk
now.
about. You must feel there must be. You must feel a little bad.
Well, I feel a little bad just because of how much damage it did to him. Like, I mean, I
destroyed.
I wish there was a better way though, because I think so many comics, and even in the video, we talk about George Lopez going up and and it wasn't getting through to him because he kept on doing it.
Right.
And then Bobby was upset at me because I had filmed him in it and put him in it.
Oh, that's right. you caught him, the OR door, and he goes, and he had the bag of groceries and because that actually grew. That even escalated further because he had to apologize for that like later down the line.
Yeah, and there was that Asian video I put.
Which one was that?
So I made this video and this is the thing that I think Bobby is so weird with me. He's nice to me, but you could tell he still hates me or something. But he made this video. We made this video a long time ago where Bobby was talking about. I don't even want to say it because I don't want him to get in trouble for it again.
Yeah.
He's the hierarchy of Asians. Remember that?
Right. Right.
And then he got mad at me. Like a year later, he got in trouble for it. And then he got mad at me because I made it. I was like, wait, it's been up for a year. You were the one.
Oh, my.
You knew I was filming. You had a camera in front of you.
It's such a scary world as far as like that type of stuff. Even like what Ari's did with that one thing that. But he did that to himself.
Yeah. That was.
Have you talked to
stupid.
him since the
I have
aftermath of what he did?
I told him to move to Japan.
He's in Japan?
No, I told him to move to Japan.
Yeah, because...
Well, see, the problem with that was, because that was not even funny. Like
it was not funny at all.
There was no joke
and
in
not
it.
only that, Kobe is beloved by...
Yeah. I love
blacks,
Kobe. And
Asians,
I hate sports.
Hispanics, everyone. And Kobe brought the whole city together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say that, man.
Right.
When you got DJ Kwak coming after you, you got a problem,
Yeah.
Because I was paying attention. I'm like, oh, DJ Kwak's after him now. Oh,
yeah.
okay, this is... Yeah. And then, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, I was
when you got gang, man, you know what I mean? When you got like
green
bangers
or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you got lit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Is he okay? I mean...
last I heard he was okay. I think he's still kind of, hiding out a little, but...
Yeah. Do you think that comedians, like... I always wondered this. Is there a certain sociopathic or like a loose screw as far as like doing stuff like that where they're not...
Well, I think...
You know what I'm saying? They're not aware. They're not... The empathy's gone.
Right.
That's why I didn't like about a lot... I'm not going to mention, examples, but I see it a lot in this world of podcasting where people just say things and they don't think about the implications of how that might make someone else feel, and you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. I mean, I think certain comics do things like that more than others. Like I'm not one of those people that usually do anything like that.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't saying you were. Yeah.
But I think some people who do it, I kind of understand just because there's a joke behind it.
Yeah.
But and then it's like, okay, was that joke worth coming across like an asshole or somebody that's dead inside?
Right,
you know?
right.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Then other times it's like, well, you know, I think like what Ari did is just totally not even a comedian thing. I think that was just
it was out of pocket.
Yeah,
he was
just,
totally out of line with that, man. I've been because I got obsessed by it, like looking at Godfrey's response, and I'm like, okay, this is not good for him.
No,
like,
I mean that's
how was Joe's kind of advice toward, because I know they're close. Like, what was his?
I haven't really talked to Joe much about it, but I'm pretty sure that Joe's like, what the fuck, Ari? Same thing.
Yeah.
I think anyone with that saw that is like, what the fuck? You can't defend that.
There's something even more damaging about doing a video.
Yeah, and that smirk he was doing when he
was.
Everything was bad about it.
Yeah. So he. God, I mean, that's another example of doing a thing,
right,
and having like this response of like,
right,
okay, well, these shows are canceled. This agency doesn't want to work with you anymore.
And that's one thing that when we made the Mencia video, that happened to Rogan. Like his agents dropped him, stuff like that.
Did. Oh, because Carlos was popping at the time. Yeah, he was popping.
Was banned from the Comedy Store. Like we stopped going to the Comedy Store for like 7 years after that.
What?
Yeah, because they chose Carlos over.
Oh, and his agent Gersh dropped him.
Yeah.
The agencies dropped him.
Dropped him.
How did he maintain throughout that time period?
Well, we just started going to the Improv.
Right.
I think the Comedy Store, it was also, there's so much drama around that too. It's because like.
Do you like hanging out there? I mean,
I love hanging out at the Comedy Store now.
Okay.
Like, now it's just because I don't really I'm guessing you, like, I'm not a guy that likes going to bars. I don't like talking to people,
No.
But the Comedy Store is like, hey, I feel like I'm with all these comics. It's like I feel like I'm in high school, kind of.
Right.
And I could hang out there even if I'm not doing.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Fuck that. I'll get it later.
Okay.
But it's like being in high school to me. It's comfortable to me.
Yeah.
And
that's how I got you to come here.
Yeah.
I don't usually go there.
Yeah.
But then I was like really kind of like. I was shook because I was in the hallway and it was like the heavy hitters, were there, like Whitney and Joe, Mark Maron, and then I was just like kind of frozen, like in limbo, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, well, I shouldn't be. What am I doing in this hallway? Because I just want to look at my brother's set time, and then you walked up and like, really, thank you for doing that, because you're like the antithesis of that. You're like, hey, what's up? You're like, hey man, what's up? And I'm like, oh hey, and you actually talked to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Opa.
So I thank you for that. Yeah, that made me feel good. You and just a few others I feel comfortable with. You, Kevin Christie, I feel comfortable with, and Fahim. Those are the only.
I love Fahim.
Those
I love
both
those guys.
Yeah, there's only a handful where I'm like, okay, I could talk to them.
Right.
And they're just kind of
Jeremiah too.
Oh yeah, obviously Jeremiah and the So let's keep going on your trajectory. So you linked up with Joe, you flew out here, and then when did the Joe Rogan experience? Were you
so then after the Mencia thing, I was doing a lot of video stuff. So I would follow Joe to different cities like Tempe Improv and stuff, film a bunch of stuff, then edit it down to like a 15-minute show. I used to call it the Joe Show. And then, but after a while, it was so much video. Like I would come home every weekend with 20 mini DV tapes.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah. And I would have crates of it, and I would be like, I got to edit all these and make some kind of story about something. Because it wasn't like shit happened all the time. It was just like more like, all right, I need to make a story out of all this footage.
So how did you what were your editing techniques back then? Like
back then, smoke a bunch of weed and just try to think of something like, all right, I might make this one about we met this handicap guy, and we're gonna have like the whole weekend, and we lead up to this handicap guy.
So you're kind of like a producer as well, because you had to think of these things. You're writing these concepts,
right?
And then you would stockpile the footage. You're like, all right, I'm gonna get this. Get the footage.
And back then, it wasn't like just put the memory card in the computer. It's like you had to press play and send it to the computer and make it. Remember, like with the mini DV tape.
Yeah.
And so I was so sick of editing video and doing this because it was just stressing me out. It was so much work. I was like, I need to find something I could get Joe Rogan to the masses easier. Now, so that's when we started going, what if we do live streaming? Like we could just do like a live video. He can answer questions.
You came up with that?
Well, I mean, just having him do that. No, having him do that.
Yeah.
What we do is
because you can do that on YouTube Live now.
Yeah. It used to
people
be
could
back then. It
donate
used to be
and-
Justin TV. I don't know if you remember Justin TV. We used to do Justin TV. I would open up the laptop
I don't
in the
remember
green
that.
room.
I mean, that was because
It's pretty much the same thing.
the same thing.
Yeah.
And so that's what he started doing.
So we started doing that. Then Joe was like, well, let's start doing this at my house. And so we started going to his house and doing use streams, which is the same thing. And then after like the third episode, people were like, you should just take the audio from this and make it a podcast. Because I think a lot of people would like to just listen to this. And I'm like, all right, I'll start doing it.
So a fan said that?
Yeah, a lot of people said that, you know?
And this is before it was a thing.
Right. Before we weren't even thinking of podcasts. We were thinking
This
more
is
of
before
video shows.
Right.
And so
what year was this?
This is like 11 years ago, 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years. And then we started doing that. And then every week we would like improve, like, let's buy better mics. Let's buy better webcams. And then just kept on building to where I'm like, let's get a soundboard. Let's get, I need to learn how to use this mixer now. And
so what are the main things that, like, because I'm sure people are watching this, they might want to start their own podcast. Like, what are the main things that like kept like advice you like to give people
if
you
you want to start a podcast, my main thing, I tell everyone this, instead of going out and spending a couple $100 on mics and stuff like that, start off with your iPhone. Sit there in a quiet room, interview somebody, put the iPhone in between you, put it up, put it up. Now do it for a couple weeks. If you keep on doing it, then treat yourself to like a little MP3 recorder, like a Zoom H6 or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I just know so many people that go out, they buy the H6, they buy the mics, they buy everything, they do 2 podcasts, and they never touch it again.
So consistency. Was Joe doing it every week?
We were doing it every week. Then it started becoming 2 times a week, and then later
2 times a week.
Yeah. Then it started becoming.
When did it start blowing? When did it start like
I'd
blowing
probably
up?
say after about episode 50 to 75 is we were getting every week like 100,000 more. It was just it was going fast.
That's
quick.
crazy.
Yeah.
So when did the I hate to ask this. When did the money start coming in?
Well, I'm salaried.
Okay. All right. We'll get that. That's fine.
I still work for Joe as salary.
Okay, that's cool.
So I never got any of that, but I mean, I think I have like what was it, shares of I don't know even all the 401s.
Yeah.
Profit sharing. I got
that's crazy.
So I got all that.
That's crazy.
But luckily.
So his crew, I'm just guessing his crew's small, right? Like the cats that he trusts. Because you were there from the beginning.
Yeah, it used to be just me and him.
Yeah.
And then we hired Jamie. Because what happens then after like...
Oh, yeah, I want to know about Jamie.
Yeah,
How did he find Jamie?
I don't actually know how he found Jamie. Because he found...
I know Jamie's voice.
He found somebody that
I just
sounds
don't
like
know what
me.
he looks like.
Yeah, he found somebody that sounds like me and is from Ohio. So
Jamie's from Ohio, too?
Yeah, it's Columbus also.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Well, how did he find...
I don't know.
Maybe it was one of those same type of things where he was like, hey, why don't you come out here and see if it works out?
I have no idea. I actually have never asked him that.
Hold up, I'm curious. What does Jamie do? Because I just hear talking. I hear him talking.
So what happened is that after like 400 episodes or something like that, I go to Joe and I'm like, you know what? I want to make a podcast network so that I can make a bunch of podcasts. So I can make a podcast for Ari. I want to make a podcast for Tom Segura. I want to make a podcast.
Maybe Duncan.
Well, I didn't do Duncan, but like a lot of people, like
people
Joey
like
Diaz
that.
And
Yeah, right.
So then I started making all these podcasts. Called it the Deathsquad podcast
there
network.
There you go. It's coming around.
Started Your Mom's House. Started all that stuff, and then that started blowing up. And then Joe hired Jamie to help me out. So pretty much I trained Jamie how to do everything I did.
You trained Jamie?
Yeah. And then
well, give me some examples of how to work the
like
Zoom.
How to make the mixers, how to, do like I think he already had
how to edit. Does he edit?
Yeah. So I don't know if I think he already knew how to do a lot of it.
Yeah.
I think he just needed to know how we did it,
Yeah. Do you think Jamie would come on here?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't even know what he looks like.
He's so freaking busy, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No,
And that's why we hired... Why Joe hired Jamie was because of the Death Squad stuff. I was working, Joe's podcast 3 or 4 times a week and then doing 7 other podcasts.
How did you have the time to do that?
I didn't. It killed all my relationships.
Yeah.
I literally was doing 2 or 3 podcasts
How did
every
you
day.
edit that much? Do you have like a whole room of just different computers?
Man, it was a nightmare. I pretty much worked all day and worked all night and slept barely at all.
Yeah.
And it burnt me out. About 4 years ago, I got so burnt out, I just stopped all podcasts.
You did?
Yeah. And then
how many were you doing before you stopped?
I think I was up to maybe 9 or 10 podcasts, different podcasts every week.
What the hell?
And then Joe's podcast.
Yeah.
And I was editing all of them. And filming all of them and on all of them. And then I just stopped and I only focused all my time on Kill Toni. And I said, you know what?
Did you start that up as well?
Yeah.
You came up with the Kill Toni concept?
Me and Toni both did.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah. So,
by the way, that was a weird experience when I went.
Yeah, you were on.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know when to talk, and you were like sitting there, like it was just a weird. I didn't know.
Did you have fun on it?
I did have fun. I did have fun on it. I did. Yeah.
So what happened is I used to do a podcast called The Secret Show.
Yeah.
And it was with a co-host that drank a lot, and then after a while, he just was too drunk all the time. So I stopped doing it. And I had a spot every Monday at the Comedy Store, and I was like, I need to find a new idea or new thing to do on that Monday because I have this spot every week.
And you had the room.
That room, right.
Okay.
And then Toni came up to me and goes, I have this idea for a podcast. And I was like, all right, let's do it. But it's going to be 50-50. Like all the other ones, I'm like, I'm going to help you out. And then they were like, well, we're going to start doing it on your own. I'm like, well, good luck and have fun. Even though I wish I had a profit of, Tom Segura.
Right.
But so me and Toni from the start just both had, like, he had ideas, I had ideas. I had like the idea for the cat and the meow and all that stuff. And, and so we worked together. And the show that you see today is like all of us just from years just tweaking little ideas. And
it's a great concept, man.
Yeah, now
it's
that
a
show's
great concept. I mean, when did the band, did you think of the band as well?
No,
that came later?
We originally had a guy dressed up, one of these Hollywood Boulevard guys, and he was dressed up as Iron Man. He had this $5,000 Iron Man suit. It looked like the real Iron Man.
Oh, dang.
With the lights in the hands and everything.
Yeah.
And he was our security guard. And so we would have, instead of the band, we would have him just stand on the side and comment here and there. And then he was a crazy person, though. So we ended up getting rid of him. And then we started bringing in like Pat Reagan and Jeremiah and Joel. And then we started having a band. And then that's grown. Now
didn't Don Barris have a similar show in the OR? What's that called?
Yeah, the Ding Dong Show.
Oh, the Ding Dong Show. It's a little.
That's still going on.
Oh, that's still going on.
Yeah.
Describe to the viewers and listeners what that was.
The Ding Dong Show is
Don Barris.
And he has a cast of freaks, I guess you would call them, or interesting people. And he's been doing
homeless people as well.
I mean, just all kinds of people. Like, and he does that every Sunday. I think it's the longest running show at the Comedy Store.
Crazy. And that's his baby.
Yeah, and that's his baby. And I used to do that as a podcast. I think I did 40 episodes of that.
You were doing all of them. What the heck?
Used to do Brody's podcast. I used to do Brody and Esther and Brody Stevens Experiment.
Now, when you say when you did it, like, were you the producer? Did you film it? Did you edit it? Did you come up with the guests? Like
producer, a lot of times came up the guests, edited. I was usually also on the podcast, like a co-host type kind of guy. Like I was the original. Like if you listen to Your Mom's House, they have a guy. That's I think his name's Greenban or something like. I forget what they call him, but that's a play off me because I used to be like on the side,
right,
kind of.
And dude, it's okay. So, what are your thoughts since you've been there from the conception? What are your thoughts now? How like everyone and their grandmother has a podcast, like. Is it a good time to start a podcast? Like
it's the worst time ever to start a podcast. Honestly,
because it's almost oversaturated.
It's oversaturated, and honestly, nowadays, I would recommend more of making a YouTube show.
Wait. What do you mean? Hold up. I like that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, instead, like, all right, some of my favorite things. I just recently got into YouTube because.
Well, really?
Yeah. I mean, I used to watch YouTube, but I never watch YouTube shows.
Right.
And like my girlfriend, she's way younger. She's 20 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And she
Mine too.
Really?
That's.
Is she Asian?
Yeah. Well, she's Filipino. Yeah, she's Asian.
Cool.
Yeah.
But she
Whoa.
showed me this Parallel Lives. She showed me this show called Good Mythical Morning, and I fell in love with it. And I watched every single episode in like 1 month. And as an example, this show is so easy to do.
What's it about? Give us the concept.
It's every morning or every day, whatever they have a show, and it's different every day. But like as an example, they're going to blindfold themselves and taste 10 different cheeseburgers from 10 different fast food places, and they're going to rank them.
Oh,
you know, just fun little easy to digest stuff.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you instead of doing a podcast, do stuff like that. You know, like think of like it's so fun to watch for some reason. Like I get sucked into that shit. Like I'm like, oh, I wonder who's gonna win. Wendy's, McDonald's, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Or like they're going to do a spicy noodle challenge where they eat the spicy noodle. Or any of that stuff. Like. But the biggest thing is consistency, because even if no one's watching it, if you do it, let's say 3 times a week for a year, you are definitely going to have people watching it.
Yeah, my YouTube's like, I'm not at 100,000 yet, but I could see, like, you know, because I've been consistent for 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't missed a week, but the only problem is, when I think of other ideas like vlogs, or I have a P.O. box video, or a Stevie on the Streety, it's like I notice that because people's attention spans are like that. They're like, they might tune into the first 2, but then I notice that the views kind of eventually trickle down, and you know, so that's the only problem, is like thinking of the next thing.
Right. Yeah.
Because now we're in a time where people are like, okay, cool, next.
Right.
Okay,
and that's another thing.
I saw that last week. You got something new? Where's the new? And it's like, because I want to do something like that. Because I love Mr. Rogers, and I like, you know, Pee-wee's Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yeah. I want to do something. I don't have the space for it, but if I had something like that, I would like to do like a puppet show, or you know, where, you know, I could use music more, and then do puppets, and then do something else.
I've always wanted to do a puppet, like a mannequin, like
but it's like, well, who has the space for that, and will they lose interest? And
that's why you just got to mix it up. 1 week you have a little puppet, 1 week you have something else.
Yeah. What are some other pieces of advice, like, as far as like, how do you like coming up with new ideas and taking chances, like, and like what advice do you have to some people who are trying to like do content? You know?
Well, I mean, probably the easiest way to do is find out what's hot and popular right now, and just
what's trending.
What's trending? You know, like
the coronavirus is happening.
Yeah. Like,
so I've seen all the big people. You know, they're doing like the toilet paper. Hey, you got it.
Right.
You got the crack.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm down with that kind of stuff.
But I see that's the trend now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But whatever's hot and popular, try to get into. A lot of, you know, I used to do tech reviews for a long time, where I would just tech reviews where I would just unbox. What I would do is I'd pick something I really wanted, like I used to want cameras a lot, you know, so I'd buy a Sony camera, and I would do an unboxing video where I would just show everything, like pull it out, what comes with the camera, look, it comes with instructions, and just show
like
it
off Amazon or something,
and then link it to the Amazon, right? And then so many people would watch that video and then click on that link that it paid for the camera. And so then I'm like, what else do I want? I want a laptop.
Because you're Amazon affiliate.
Yeah, exactly. And so I used to get all my stuff doing that, just by doing unboxing videos and reviews. I would use it for a week and then have an unboxing video. Then I would have a review of it, and would end up paying for everything I wanted.
Endless.
Yeah, endless.
Wow.
I was making at one point so much money doing that Amazon shut off my account because I was making too much money doing it.
Like, how much were you making?
I was making... 1 month, I'd probably say I made maybe like $10,000 doing it, and it was just unboxing videos and reviews. And then, when it started, but that's when it started. Amazon took it away because I think I was making too much money, and I think that's the problem with Amazon, or it used to be. I think
you're blowing my mind
that they don't want people to make that much money. You know,
doing that.
Yeah.
So how come you stopped doing that?
Because they took my account away. And they ended up giving it to me back like a couple years later. And it was so funny because
who was paying you? Amazon had to pay you.
Yeah, Amazon had to pay me. And I think I was making too much money.
Oh, because the people were linking and then using your promo code. And then it's like,
I was one of the first people to be like, hey, go to my website and click on my Amazon link. You know, everyone does that.
Yeah.
I was one of the first people that did that.
So you were one of the first to do. You were one of the first to do a lot of these things.
Yeah.
What? How'd you even come up with that idea?
Because I knew that they had it, and I just don't think anyone put the two together. Like, oh, I could use this for. I have so many podcast listeners. I could just direct the podcast listeners to click on that link. I think. People,
in your description.
Yeah.
In your YouTube description.
YouTube and on websites and everything like that. So like I would review the video and then on the YouTube underneath the YouTube.
Look, my guy's taking notes as you're talking. I'm trying to pick your brain, man. You got some good ideas. Yeah. Let's hear some other ones too.
Let's see what else.
Could you do that with movie reviews or something?
If the movie's out on Blu-ray or something, but nowadays,
that's not going to work.
Yeah, no, probably the best thing is like electronics and tech. Especially if you get into one certain niche, like if you're only reviewing video games or you're only reviewing cameras or you're only reviewing TVs.
What are the other aspects? Because I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. Because I have like a new crew, this guy, and I'm thinking like, okay, like how do I optimize? Because I have my thing going through Audio Boom, but they're going through a transition right now. How do you optimize making money off a podcast?
If you have a certain amount of numbers, you can probably go to a lot of these places and go, hey, I have this podcast. I get this many numbers.
Yeah, mine's all over the place. It might be 2,000 and then 100,000. It's like so all over the place.
Yeah, but if you just show them your numbers, a lot of them might be like, well, your average is 50,000.
Right.
And that's where the money starts coming in when you got people like going, all right, we want you to do ZipRecruiter this week. We want you to do this week.
Who's they? Who do you hit up like these?
These marketing companies. Like if you
is that through mid-roll or like?
No, it's usually at the beginning.
At the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that your podcast, in the middle of the podcast, out of nowhere, it would just go into a commercial. I hate that so much.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I have to slate it because I have to timestamp it for for my brothers, the Postmates thing.
Right.
I had to do it at the 10-minute mark, and then.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like if you ask, especially if you ask some of the guys, like your brother would know for sure. Who
he's not sharing that with me though. He's not telling me that information.
He might be able to just be like, I'll tell him, send him your numbers.
To be honest, I don't even know how I think they just show up and then they have other people taking care of all that. That's why I'm asking you because I don't think he even knows.
Right. Or
here I know everything about it. I upload all my stuff.
Or another thing is like a lot of these places. Like, as an example, I just got a Purple mattress. Have you ever heard of Purple mattress?
Oh, I had their sponsorship. Yeah,
you did?
Yeah, they were my sponsors at one time.
Yeah. So if you go to Purple's website,
then you had the promo code.
And so there's a lot of companies that have that, you can do it that way.
Oh, so you could directly hit them up directly.
Right. Or you could just if you
cutting out the middleman.
Yeah, if you go to Purple's website, they actually have a link that says like affiliates or something like that, and you could sign up as a influencer. I forget what it is.
Yeah.
And I think every time you sell, somebody uses your code, you get like 10% of whatever they spend.
What? That's a great idea. So I could just do my own research.
You could do your own research and find out.
What about a ginger beer company?
That I'm
a fan of ginger beer.
I would recommend things that you actually enjoy and that
deodorants that I like, maybe?
And things that are expensive enough where that you're actually getting money for it. Purple mattress. I think the mattress I got was just like $3,000. So
one sale.
So one sale is probably $300 or something like that.
Oh, so you got to start thinking,
that.
Ooh, what are some other ones? So, bed mattresses.
What
about like furniture or something?
Furniture, maybe. Yeah, I don't. I've been lucky because of we have a marketing company that came to us.
Right. You guys have the numbers are just
but I'm sure you get pretty good numbers. I mean, it seems like you
I
get pretty
said,
good
mine's
numbers.
all over the place. I mean, like I'll do a vlog, it'll get 2,000, then my brothers like Aunt Santino's will do over 100,000, and then the normal will be 5 to 10,000.
Right.
It's so all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. So. But it's interesting.
But I'm sure these marketing companies would go, "Whoa, you're having Santino on this week? Well, we'll definitely like the sponsor you at the
with that particular one."
Yeah,
that's smart. I could give them that option.
Yeah.
Like
go here. Here's my guest in the next 4 weeks.
Beforehand,
you plan your podcast out by 2 months. Anyway,
I do that anyway. I do that. What's so funny about that? That's
because
what
you're the only one that does. You know,
I'm the only one that does that?
Yeah, I had a panic attack.
Oh, people do it week by week?
Last week, you came up on my feed or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit! I'm booked on his podcast. Did I forget? And I like when I'm like, oh god, it's next week.
So I do
because you did it so far. Like I think
I did it a month in advance.
More than that, I think. I think it was about 2 months ago.
Oh, I'm booked. Yeah, I'm ahead of.
You're way ahead. That's like dangerous.
It is.
Yeah, because
you're right.
Because even when I said I could do it, there was a good possibility that I would have forgot. Or I would have booked something else.
Oh no!
You know, because I like.
So is that bad? Because I thought I'd be like diligent.
Usually, if anything, I would say 2 to 3 weeks max.
2 to 3.
Yeah, 2 to 3 max.
2 to 3. Is that how Joe does it?
Yeah, I would probably say that's how every single person do. I on most of my podcasts. Hey, do you want to do next Wednesday, next Monday?
Like that.
It's like a week.
God, why am I like I'm like a month ahead? God, that's yeah.
I want to now look at my phone just to see.
Yeah. Go ahead. Take a look. I'm gonna look at my. Hold on. Let me grab my.
I want to see when the original text was. So the original text that you put out was January 14th. You asked me.
What I did?
Yeah, and it is now March 17th.
Get out of town.
2 months.
Get out of town.
Look at this. Your first
January 4th. Whoa. You know what? So no one else else in the podcast game does that.
No one.
I don't
Not
know.
even a month.
It's for me, let me defend myself. For me, it's like an OCD thing. It's like literally it's like a compulsive thing where it's like a control thing where I'm like, okay, well, that month's all taken care of, and then I have all my because I have like a whole, that board there. I write everything down as far as when I need to, edit and then, post.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is OCD.
Yeah, so it's like more of like, like in school, like, it's like, I'm being strict now, opposed to I should have been like this in college.
Right.
But now I'm like, okay, I got to do this. I got a month. I want to make sure I hit all these people up. And, but you're saying that people forget.
Yeah, I honestly, if I had not remembered last week, and you would have said yesterday, or I think you said, hey.
I reminded you.
You reminded me yesterday.
Yeah, and then
there's such a high percentage of that I would have forgotten. Yeah.
Like it was 50-50.
It was 50-50. Yeah. You're lucky because of all this Corona thing. Cause like
because you were chilling. You were chilling
already.
You were chilling.
Yeah. I actually had 2 podcasts today already.
Wait, you did?
Yeah. I've already done 2 today.
Wait, which ones?
I did Brian Holtzman's podcast.
Oh, he's got one?
Yeah, I do his. Just started his.
I'm a fan of him.
Oh yeah.
I'm a fan of Holtzman.
Yeah. It's interesting.
My brother used to say, hey, Holtzman, let's go watch him perform.
It's crazy,
and
man.
He'd be yelling at me, shut up, get out of here. And I'm like, oh, this guy's the best.
Yeah, I just started his a couple of months ago. And then I do David Lucas.
Oh, you started his?
Yeah. So I did his at 2:00. And then
what's his setup like? Where do you go? Do you have a facility too?
I have a studio, yeah.
Where's that? Is that
in Burbank?
In Burbank.
Yeah.
Is that All Things Comedy?
No, it's right next door to it though. I used to have it at the Ice House for like 9 years, and then they sold the Ice House to the owners of the Lakers.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So it's your own facility?
Yeah.
Like, do you rent it out monthly?
I rent it out, yeah.
And then how many other podcasts do you hold there?
Right now I only do 2 or 3, but I do Holtzman's, and I do another one called Brothers in Cursive, which is on Kill Tony. It's the 2 regulars, the redhead and the black guy. And
so you do they come up to you like, hey, I want to start something, or do they like, how does that work?
I think I came up to Holtzman
and said, hey, you should start a podcast.
Yeah, because Comedy Store was supposed to do one with him, and they kept on screwing him over, and like they didn't want to release it, and they said they wanted to edit it. They wanted to change Holtzman.
Right.
And he was bitching about it. I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow, what are you doing? Come to my studio. Let's start it, unedited, whatever you want to do.
Wow.
And so that's...
I mean, like, because, God, man, you're an OG in this game. Like, how does that work as far as business? Like, do you have contracts ready? Like, how does that work, the business end?
The business end, I just do it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. I don't
it's just
like
word of mouth.
Word of mouth. And
you just say, hey, I want this percentage.
Hand to shake. I don't do anything. Like, when I start a podcast out, I just go, let's just get this thing going. You know, let's get, once we start making money, then let's talk about it, you know?
Right,
But
that's
let's
the way
just-
to do it.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
not worry about the fucking contracts. And
Right,
money.
right. Yeah, I
So,
don't do contracts.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to rent out your space, how would we like? Let's say me and Eric Griffin wanted to start a movie podcast. Could we use your facility? Like, how would that work?
Well, see, that's the thing is that if you wanted to do that, I would probably be down. But
You're so busy though, right?
well, I mean, it depends. But
Yeah.
it's pretty much all my shit there. You know what I mean? So I don't really rent it out. But
Right,
but if
right.
you guys wanted to start it, we could probably look at my schedule and see if I could fit you in on a day and start doing it. you know?
Right.
Uh,
Well, that's in the future. I still have to see where his head's at.
Yeah.
We got to
I
figure
mean,
it out. Yeah.
he lives far away though, so
Oh, he lives way.
yeah, he's.
I just want to get like a space, like not my space or not
Right.
his space, where we could be like neutral ground. It's like a new vibe and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we should talk in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
'cause,
For sure.
Because I was thinking of doing more.
I don't know why that didn't come up because weren't you do his podcast as well, right?
I just did his
You just
podcast.
did it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't. Does he know that you do have access to all this and you're like in the game like
Yeah.
that kind of boggles my mind why he wouldn't just ask you
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
how I'm asking you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so weird. Well, an hour we're out of time almost, I
Wow.
think.
Great.
5 minutes. So now's the time. That was easy, right?
That was so easy.
So easy, right? Now I wanted to plug all your social, and all your website and,
Yeah.
and all that.
It's Deathsquad.tv. That's every single podcast I've ever done. You can go back there and listen from 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And then Redban on all social media, Twitter, Instagram. And no dates because it's the end of the world.
It's the end of the world. Do you think it's gonna with this corona? You think? I think we're doing.
And I think we'll be fine.
Are you afraid? I think we're eventually gonna all get it, right?
We'll probably
Eventually.
get it, and it probably won't be bad.
It'll be like
Like
flu or something,
maybe a
yeah.
mild flu.
yeah.
The bad thing is that I just don't see anyone else going back to work or getting back to normal for probably in about a month.
Well, that's one thing about podcasts. You could just
Right.
content.
But I do kind
creators
of.
or-
I'm going to miss just going to the comedy store. I'm going to miss just going to.
Oh,
the
that's
restaurant.
done.
Oh yeah, everything's closed.
What about what are they gonna do their sets?
There's no sets right
You know
now.
what the future is? They're gonna perform in the, like live feeds.
Yeah. But the only problem with that is then once you do it once, then it's on the internet forever. Like so many people are like, why don't you record your sets? And I'm like, because what if Netflix comes to me in like 6 months and
And
wants
they-
to
and they've
record?
seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've already seen all your shit.
Oh,
You know, that's the problem. A lot of people
right.
don't think of that. Like it's unlike music where you could play the same song 100 times. And
Yeah.
it's
All right. I was just trying to think in advance.
Yeah. No, right now comedy's pretty much dead. That's why every comedy club's closed.
So what are they gonna do for work? Because that's a big chunk of their pay is on the
a lot of people are
road.
suffering. So many people lost their jobs in this
What do you
week.
mean?
Because all these restaurants and places are closed. Like a lot of companies, they're going to have to close for a month, and they're probably not going to reopen. They're probably going to go out of business because they can't afford to not have any money for a month. You know?
Yeah, there's even the rental that's mandated that what you're covered for 6 months or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
Through this time.
Yeah.
And
So people are getting laid off left and
They're
right. I know
getting laid
so
off.
many people that get laid off, and they said today that their unemployment rate's probably going to hit 20% this week.
Dude, do you believe we're living? This is so weird. Just
never happened
Yeah,
before.
this is crazy.
That's crazy.
This is nuts. So, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I'd like for you to come back. I mean,
Definitely.
if you're down, this is not too far from.
No, this is
any-
great.
Yeah. We're not going to say where I live, although people.
I like Silver Lake. It's
Yeah. Silver Lake's fine. Yeah, this is actually Echo Park.
Echo.
Like more. Yeah, Echo Park.
It's down the
Yeah,
Silver
yeah,
Lake's
yeah.
part.
Okay, so we do have a Patreon attached to the podcast. If you wanted to support the Steebee Weebee Show, go to patreon.com/Steebee Weebee. I wanted to welcome the newest patrons: Andrew Sencion, Asa Henry, Jelly Bones, Jordan Kenny, Hector Colin, Fan Huang, Eric Lazema. I also have a website if you wanted to get some merch. I have a new shirt of my EP, Ode to My Pops, at SteebeeWeebeeShow.com. The Instagram is Instagram/QUANGOU. I have a new EP, Ode to My Pops. It's just out digitally. Go to SteebieWeebeeBandcamp.com. Check it out. If you like it, get the shirt. Tell a friend. I have a P.O. box also if you want to send stuff like hand sanitizer or toilet paper or whatever you want to send, ginger beer. Send your stuff to 1425 North Cherokee Avenue, P.O. Box 1391, LA, California 90093. Little Ray, he contacted me through this message, and binary code message, and he said that he's close to being coming back and doing stuff. So, look out for Little Ray. And if you want to support Lil Ray, go get a Lil Ray hoodie at SteebeeWeebieShow.com. We got zip up hoodies. I actually sent out for one. Just sold one the other day. With that being said, thanks for tuning in. Little Ray's coming soon. Ode to My Pops EP. Thank you, Brian. Elbow.
Thank you.
Yeah.